Hello, I am Tian, and today I'm going to talk about 10 tips and tricks, you could say, for beginners in 2026. And I'm gonna keep these a bit more, let's say, down to earth, right? I'm considering that you, who is watching, knows nothing about this game yet. And so let's begin. The first one, and arguably the most important one, is to find a good alliance, a good community, a good starting kingdom, right? This is undoubtedly the most important part. There are many ways to do this. Either you find a good restart project. You can find these in the official Discord, in many community Discords of the bigger YouTubers. Join one of these, start with them, and you should be ensured a place in at least the top alliances, right? Ideally, you want to be in the number one or at least the number two, but how many alliances can be considered the top kind of depends on the project or the kingdom. Second option would be to just start early. You do not want to join a kingdom like, let's say, 2 days late. Be there at the beginning, be active at the beginning. If you cannot be active for the first day, I would recommend you to wait until you can, because that is the most important time. You need to push a lot, you need to get into the top alliance because spots are limited and you want to be able to remain in there, right? Why is this so important? Well, first of all, alliance gifts. This is a very common knowledge in Rise of Kingdoms. It's also why some people, hunt for gold chests. What does that mean? Every time someone purchases a bundle, an in-game bundle, it drops a chest. These go from stone chests all the way up to gold chests. And as you can see, depending on the alliance gift, you can get various amount of rewards in there. Some are very, very good, especially in the beginning, where the whales, the spenders will start to push. You will get a lot of these chests, and they will help you tremendously if you are not the high spender. Second of all, second tip, it's tied to what I just said. Speed ups. One common mistake is using them way too much, way too early. I myself suffered from this at the beginning too. I still suffer from it because, well, I lost speed ups. The reason is quite simple. If you click your city hall, you can see all the buffs that you have: building speed, research speed, training speed, etc. Now, if you look at these, many of these buffs are not obtainable yet at the very beginning. Alliance tech, you will not have 11% on the first day. Technology also will be way lower if you even have this at all. Holy sites won't even open, and VIP, well, you wouldn't be VIP 10 day one. If you do, you are a whale. So what does this mean? You want to save your speed ups for later, because the higher these buffs are, the less time and speed ups you need. Especially since there is also the Alliance Center that gives you helps, right? The higher level this is, the more free speed ups you basically get. So, in the beginning, what I would recommend is to only push power above the minimum power request of the alliance, right? Check this daily. Click on your alliance, see what the minimum power is. For example, mine currently is 5.5 million. Check your power. Am I above? If yes, keep saving. If no, okay, maybe I should push a bit, right? But otherwise, save it. You will get a lot of value using them later on, especially with runes, with titles, etc. etc. Now, the third point is gems. Gems are probably just the most important currency in the game. You need them for pretty much everything. And especially at the beginning, pre KVK1, you want to push your VIP. This is very, very important because you want the daily gold heads, right? The breakpoints are 10, 12, and 14 to give 1, 2, and 3. Of course, there are also bonus buffs. You get research speed, action point recovery, building speed, whatever. But you do this mainly for the gold heads because commanders are just such a big part of the game. and it's passive income, right? You get one or two or three of them daily. You want to push this as soon as you can, but first of all, always keep 7k gems ready. You don't want to be at zero because of an event that can show up at any time. Second of all, save for 50k until the event MTG pops up. This is also called More Than Gems, or that's just the full name. And in this event, it lasts 2 days. You basically spend gems daily to get bonus rewards, right? The two options you would usually take are either 50k gems, so 25k daily, or 14k gems, so 7k daily. You would wait until this event, use your gems, like I am saving as well, and push your VIP, right? It's a win-win. You push your VIP and you get a lot of bonus rewards for free. The only other thing you should be spending gems on, really, would be the Egg and Hammer event, the Wheel of Fortune, if it's the one with YSG, or sometimes maybe stuff like alliance mobilization for the extra attempt if your alliance is trying to push for top 1 or just pushing into the top 8, all that. And also just to show that you are actively contributing, right? Okay. Number 4 is, I would say, an odd tip to add in such videos. But many new players, like truly new ones, often make these mistakes and it hurts them. And these are some common rules, basically. They are usually not told to you because it's assumed that you should know them, right? And these are very simple. It's something like you shouldn't be gathering in other alliance territories. Like I should not be going into their alliance here and gathering this. You can check this. If you click on the reserve, you see owner 16D. If I go outside, there is no owner. Never gather in another alliance's territory. The other stuff are stuff like, no farm killing, do not attack cities or flags in general for no reason unless specifically instructed to by leadership. Don't steal nodes, do not solo guardians. Well, the only exception would be if you have no fixed time, but even then you should ask in alliance chat and maybe get some people to do it with you. If there's something you want to do and you are not sure of it, ask leadership. Okay? If leadership is, decently active, they should be able to give you an answer. And this also leads us to the fifth point. Listen to R4. Right? It sounds stupidly simple, but some people just don't do it. Right? If an R4 or R5 sets a marker or sends out an alliance mail, it doesn't take much time to read it, to acknowledge it, and to follow it. If leadership is good, this will always be beneficial for you, for the alliance. If leadership is bad, well, congratulations, you have other issues. Maybe you should consider migrating out. Number 6, do guardians, right? As simple as it sounds. Join your alliance in doing guardians if you can. This just gives you a lot of free XP for up to 10 commanders every time you do them. This is just amazing and beneficial, especially for something like your Sunset Canyon lineup, for which you need 10 commanders, right? Also, if you're doing Guardians and you spot a rune that gives commander XP gain, I don't think there's one right now, grab it, because that also counts for Guardians. Okay? Number 6, or excuse me, number 7, make farm accounts. You don't have to make too much. You don't want to burn yourself out. But also, do not think that you need to be high maintenance, right? You do not need to work on your farm accounts 24/7. You can be incredibly lazy, right? Take my farm accounts, for example. I will show you one right now. They are, for the time that I've played, terrible, quite frankly. But it is still a net positive in resources. when I do need them. The beginning, yes, the first few days will be more work, but realistically, you just need them to City Hall 17, or if you play more actively, ideally to, you know, 22, you just want to unlock more marches. And if you are lazy, this is all you need to do. You log on, you search for the nodes that you want to gather, you send out your gatherers, and then you just switch back. That's all. Look, this sometimes auto suggests you something within territory. Do not do this. Search again, right? Stay outside of alliance territory. But yeah, that's it. That's literally it. Now I just go back. As simple as that. Okay? How many you make and how actively you play is up to you. Just don't burn yourself out. It's a game after all. You don't want to make this a job unless it's, well, your job. Number 8 is also quite self-explanatory. Focus on the correct commanders and troop types. For this, I would recommend you to check in on the official Discord or some of the community Discords of the bigger YouTubers. There are a lot of helpful guides there. Now, what I will tell you is to not always blindly chase the meta unless you are someone who enjoys playing the meta, like me, right? There is nothing wrong with wanting to go archers or cavalry with commanders that aren't necessarily 100% optimal. You just can't do that and expect optimal results, right? But if you do not care, what is stopping you from leveling up Plutmos because you think, he's just a cool dude? Do that. Have fun. It's a game. Number 9, be active. Active in the parts that are shown, not active as in you are in the game all day. No, do forts, right? Do your alliance donations, help build flags. These all show your presence and will just ensure you a better position in the alliance and in the community in general, right? If possible, try to be high up in these spots, like Fort Destroy, or Mad Scientist, the donations. Of course, donations are a bit more luck based, but if your leadership cares about activity, they should also send in mails that basically tell you this: activity goals, right? Always be above these. Quite self explanatory. They are just expected and they are not hard. As you can see, 75 are required. I'm already at 99 without using bottles, and there are 2.5 days left. And the last point, the 10th point, I want to talk about spending. So, first of all, this is not financial advice, and you should never be using any money that is not completely disposable income. Please remember this. It is a game. Okay, so if you spend, you want to spend wisely, right? You do not want to spend money just to get beat up or just to be weak. I'm gonna mainly talk about low spenders because the moment you go above like the budget of 200-300 a month, it really just depends on what your exact budget is. The first 3 things I would recommend you to grab always are Lucerne Scrolls. You can always finish these if you are active. Do not purchase levels with gems. This is a complete waste, and this is not what you should be wasting gems on. Just finish the challenges. Number 2 and number 3 would be the Grow Fund. It's just a shit ton of gems. A one-time purchase costs 15 bucks and a gem supply. Especially the first one because you get 50% off on it and it's only 5 instead of 10. You get 650 gems daily, auto peacekeeping, auto help, auto translation. It's just good. Now, after you've gotten these 3, you should get the good pop-offs first. Now, the best 2 are Writers of History and Vanquisher. Writers of History appears every time you obtain a new legendary commander, one that you haven't obtained before. For example, I would get one if I unlocked Frederick 1 right now. Now, these costs 5 bucks and they only stay for a very short time. So let's say you are a spender, but today you just simply do not have the 5 laying around. You can hold off on your gold keys on these claim commanders, right? There's no reason to get it 1 day earlier, especially if your goal is the Writers of History and not the commander itself. Very worthwhile. They give you 10 gold heads, a bunch of XP. Great pack. Second one is Vanquisher. It's related to gear. Now, every time you get a legendary blueprint, right, like this, it should appear. And basically, it just gives you 4 legendary mats. These equipment material choice chests for $5. Super high value. Get them whenever you can. Okay? Now, beyond this, it would just either be daily specials or other pop-ups, depending on your budget. But okay, that was it. 10 tips and tricks for beginners. I hope you liked the video. And like and subscribe if you want to see me again in the future. Have a good day. Peace out.